Yo guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Booty Boy Wrestling Fan Interview. Today I'm joined by my very special guest. They are the Stepdads, Papa Bear, Wade Kruger, and the Rad Dad himself, Radley Belmont. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm pretty good.
Fantastic. TGIF saying, kiddo.
Yep.
That. I'm just happy the election's over. Kind of.
Kind of. Getting there.
We're still waiting the winner, but at least that day's gone. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're still waiting for Curtis Axel to get eliminated from the Royal Rumble, but, you know.
These things... yeah.
That's true.
So, you guys are the Stepdads. Where did you guys come up with that name?
You want me to take that?
Oh, go for it,
Yeah,
Wade.
Okay. So, the Stepdads originally comes from, it's going to sound stupid, it's originally the name of my fantasy football team. It still is, to this day. And we're called the Stepdads because we beat you and you hate us. Eventually, I took that name and I used to backyard wrestle, and I had a tag team with a different other stepdad, and we were the Stepdads in the backyard. And but it wasn't this. Like, it was just, we were called the Stepdads because we were like cocky heels. You know, we beat you and you hate us. But then we were both kind of floundering, and we figured...
We both went pro, we got trained, and we were separate. I was in a different tag team. He was doing the singles thing.
Yep, and we kind of figured, like, we wanted to do a tag team, and the Stepdads thing was there, and we just took it to that next level of super over the top. What if we were actual real dads, like, and made it the full thing?
And all our step family, they're our step kids.
Yeah, exactly. It made perfect sense. It just fit. It fit us.
It fit us because we're old school guys. We're old souls, you know. We have corny jokes already. Might as well just make it a whole wrestling package. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So we just found out where the name came. Where'd you guys meet?
So back to backyard wrestling. We met because we both were backyard wrestlers, but we lived literally across the country from each other. I'm from New Jersey. Dan is from...
I lived in Las Vegas for 16 years.
And we all used to post our footage on this same backyard wrestling message board. So it became this like global community of wrestlers.
There was a lot of crazy names, like Will Ospreay was on there.
Yeah, Alex Zane, who is about to have his last indie match tomorrow.
Yeah, fantastic.
Guys like that, and we all posted our footage to get critiques and talk to each other, and we started talking on there. And then I was out in Vegas for a trip with my dad, and we hung out, and it just kind of spiraled from there. And then he moved out to Pennsylvania. We got trained, and now we're roommates. And the whole thing is history.
Met 10 years ago. Here we are in the same house.
Yeah,
crazy.
Really crazy. Like, usually tag teams are like they train together. They're from the same area.
Yeah, they're best friends for life, or brothers, or something.
We're from across the country from each other, and we hate each other. So, you know.
And we literally met on the Las Vegas Strip. How many people can say they met somebody in person on the Las Vegas Strip? 10 years later, they remember. Much less one day later, they remember the person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a time.
It was great.
I didn't think he was a real person. I was like shocked that he was a real person.
You thought he was a catfish from Vegas?
I was like, there's no way this is a real person.
Yeah, he was exactly the same person I thought he'd be. So
yeah. I was like, no one could be like this in real life.
I'm all wow.
You guys are really going at it already, and we're not even 5 minutes into this interview.
It's a real feud right here. No.
So you both have nicknames. You're Wade, you're the Bear, and Radley, you're the Rad Dad. Where'd your nicknames come into play in your characters?
So mine started with I was doing a different gimmick where I was Kodiak Kruger. I was like this guy from the wilderness. I was like a bear. So I was like, well, I already have this bear gear, and it's like I gotta keep I just got it. But I was like already like done with the thing. I was like, I got to do something, and it was a perfect fit. Papa Bear. I already had the bear claw gear. I figured that made the most sense to make that switch, so I could keep using it. And
mine's a little longer than that.
Yeah.
It starts with a video game called Hydro Thunder. It's from like 1996 or something. It's a boat game. Really cool if you see it in like an arcade somewhere, like a classic arcade area. But they have a boat in the arcade called the Rad Hazard, and it was meant to be like an Area 51 spaceship that had crashed, and they'd taken parts from it and used it to create a boat. So it kind of looked like a flying saucer. Since I lived in Las Vegas, I kind of lived near Area 51. I thought that was really cool, and I would use that boat. I'd use the Rad Hazard all the time. That eventually became a name I used on YouTube videos as like a YouTube personality, Rad Hazard. And eventually, when I started backyard wrestling, people would call me Rad Hazard. Even when I started training, they were calling me Rad or Radley as like a nickname. And I've had that name for so long, Radley, that just being the Rad Dad or Radley Belmont, I think I might be the only person in the world that's called Radley and not Bradley. There's no B there. But it makes it unique, And we have tons of other nicknames. I mean, we're the gods of dad bods,
The parental guardians of the galaxy.
I mean, we're
the robe warriors.
The
vest there is, the vest there was, the vest there ever will be.
Absolutely, FTR, fathers totally rule.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop there because we'd be here for the rest of the interview. But
I could literally go on.
This is stuff we think about today. Like. He'll literally run upstairs and be like, I thought of a new nickname.
I'll make a list every time.
Is it going to be as long as like Chris Jericho's list from WCW?
That's the goal.
It's getting close. We're getting there. We try to tell common nicknames, and some of them, it takes like half the match for them to get through all our nicknames before they even start talking about moves. It's great.
Yeah. I'm going to start coming out, and just like Chris Jericho said he's not a political guy, I'm going to come out and be like, we don't have nicknames.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll be the last one. The team with no nicknames, the Stepdads.
Yeah.
So about a month ago, you did the little cameo on Don Kincaid's interview at Test of Strength.
Yep.
And Wade, you answered this question, and then you guys stormed off. So Radley, I never got your answer about what your favorite donut is.
Favorite donut, jelly filled. I prefer cream, a vanilla cream.
Oh, so like a Bavarian cream donut?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I absolutely love them. Anything, even if it's just jelly filled with anything, strawberry, grape, whatever. I usually go for grape, but if it's jelly filled, I want it, and that's bad because I'm trying to lose some weight right now. Papa Bear's trying to lose some weight. Jelly filled donuts, they're around, man. They circle us, and you gotta get away from it.
I work at a bakery. And my girlfriend works at a donut shop.
Yep.
And I haven't been able to eat any of them for the past 2 months, and it's been difficult. I miss donuts very much.
Well, you guys have dad bods, so it shouldn't sound like a problem.
Well, I could lose another 70 pounds, and I'll still have a dad bod.
We got quarantine bods right now. That's the problem,
I gotta lose the quarantine weight. I still have weight to lose to get to the dad bod.
So, speak of quarantine weight, what have you guys been doing to stay in shape during quarantine? Any home gym equipment?
I haven't been. I ate too many donuts. I wasn't working, and I sat around and watched too much Netflix. Currently, I'm on season 7 of the Amazing Race. I started watching from the beginning. I also watched all of Degrassi from the start. So I'm way behind. But since quarantine, like at this end here, I've just been counting my calories and just trying to drop the weight back. I say as I just ordered takeout. I just ordered a burger, but I'll have it all day, so I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I just ate 2 hamburgers a minute ago, but I also haven't eaten anything most of the day. For me, I lost a lot of weight this year. It's somewhere around 30 to 35 pounds, and a lot of that it's the simplest thing in the world. I took all this time to watch celebrity interviews talking about how they lost weight in movies and stuff, and it's literally just eat a lot of chicken and don't eat cake and just do general workout stuff. Like if you do 50 push-ups a day, it means the world. It's crazy how it's such a small amount means so much.
The thing for me is I'm still worried. I'm not worried, but COVID is out there, and I don't feel comfortable at the gym yet.
Yeah, me neither.
Because I don't feel comfortable being around people who are sweating and and all that stuff. And I don't feel comfortable working out with a mask on either. So I haven't been able to work out much at home. But the calorie thing is just like I've dropped 20 pounds just by counting my calories and watching and making sure I'm staying under every day. And so that's been the key for me. And it's not like I have been eating clean. Like I'll still go out for like Taco Bell or KFC once in a while, but I just order less, and the rest of my day I eat smart. I'll eat a sandwich instead of like a big meal.
Yeah, it's a good thing to have a cheat day and stuff like that. If you're familiar with Alexander Hammerstone in Major League Wrestling, he says it's usually 85% healthy stuff, 15% whatever bad stuff you want to eat. But it's good to have that bad stuff.
Yeah.
It's good to do that.
The biggest change I made is I weigh out my snacks. Like I used to just like I would go into the living room with a bag of chips and I wouldn't put it in a bowl first.
Yeah.
Just the laziness of me not having to get up to go put more chips in that bowl means I stop eating. And it sounds so stupid and so easy, but it's such a simple change.
And there's a lot of food out there that tastes exactly the same. It has a quarter of the calories.
Yep.
And you just gotta look for it. You just look for it in the right place in the store.
And
that's it.
And diet soda. I went to diet soda instead of regular soda.
Black coffee for me, but
I don't drink coffee ever.
He doesn't drink coffee, but I got the coffee dad thing down. So
Coffee's the devil.
We're good.
I love how one of you just talks and then the other one just like talks over them.
Oh yeah,
it's just like an argument.
Always.
This is already fun.
Yeah,
it's just that's life.
Imagine being our friends, just seeing this all the time.
Yeah. Imagine being one of the random people who decided to ride in the car with us to a show.
Oh yeah, 5 hours of this.
So speaking of shows, you guys mentioned on Donkey Kids interview you're 2-0 at Test of Strength.
Yes.
Undefeated.
No one really knows when Test of Strength's going to come back because no one wants to go outside in November when it's freezing cold in December. I mean, it would be interesting, but it's cold. I don't want to go outside.
Yeah, we have our last outdoor show tomorrow, and luckily it's going to be nice out. After that, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, they can have their buried alive matches in the snow or whatever they want to do. Yeah. We don't need to be involved.
I'm good.
So, what's next for the Stepdads and then TOS?
Well, on Twitter, I already declared us the new Test of Strength tag champions.
I did see that.
Just like Donald Trump claimed that he won the election, I claim that we have won the tag titles. We're currently the tag champs. I don't know who knows that, but the announcement is here. We're the tag champs now. But no, I hope. I mean, we want to take on the best that they have to offer in the tag division. Not Cold Cash. They're not the best, obviously. We already beat them twice. But like teams like the Nightcrawlers,
great team.
The Kowalski guys, like bring them on. We're ready.
Yeah, even the Firm is out there. There's multiple versions of the Firm.
Yeah, whatever combination of the Firm they want to throw at us.
There's a lot of great talent at TOS, guys that we have never wrestled before. Even combinations of guys, singles guys.
Waves and Curls.
Waves and Curls, absolutely.
Anybody who's going to push us to our limits and test us, that's what we want.
TOS, test the Stepdads.
Yes.
Right. So anybody, Mike Skyros and Bobby Ocean, throw them together. We'll take them on.
Sure, you could wrestle Bobby Ocean. I'm not.
I mean, you can do those parts. I'll chain wrestle with.
I just watched him murder a person. So, and that from very close distance.
That hurt me.
Yeah,
it hurt me.
Well, when you were on the outside. I
was on the outside.
I was right there. I was the only person watching it from the apron. I was as close as it gets. It was horrifying. They don't call him nice guy Bobby Ocean.
It's hard hitting.
Yeah.
No, it's not a gentle touch Bobby Ocean. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So, go ahead if you have anything else.
Oh no, we're good.
We've said how amazing Bobby Ocean's chops are. We got it.
Yeah.
My ears are still ringing.
So, who is the brains and the bronze of the tag team?
I'm both.
I'm here too.
See, we like to joke. We're both the Jannettis of the team.
Yeah.
Like everyone is always like, "Who's the Shawn Michaels and who's the Jannetty?" We're both the Jannetty.
Yeah.
Like we're both the losers.
#2 Jannettis.
Yes.
#2 Jannettis. Okay. Absolutely.
I mean, it's more that we're both, like, he's the nice dad and I'm the angry dad. I don't know if I'm exactly the brawn, but, like, I mean, I do lift guys up and throw them around.
You got the force, you know?
Yeah.
You got the immovable object kind of thing going on for you.
Yeah, I'm like the Hulk. Like, when I'm Bruce Banner when he gets mad. But before he gets mad, I just kind of am there.
Right. And I'm Spider-Man. I'm just kind of annoying and to the side, but people buy my merchandise. You know what I mean? That's how it works. But yeah, like I'm the rad dad. I'm the cool dad. I like to have fun, play around. And then when he has some fun, you know, it's a little more serious.
Yeah, if you notice in our tag matches, usually when things go to hell, it's because he's fooling around too much.
Yeah.
Like reading the paper or doing dances or whatever.
I had to know if the Dow was up. It was very important.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll make my comeback. It's fine. We're a great team though. We have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Chemistry off the charts.
Notice I'm not usually the one getting beaten up.
I've noticed that in the last 2.
All right. 2-0, undefeated.
Yeah. Yeah. My back hurts from carrying the team. And from being old.
So if we can kind of go off topic real quick,
we were
going
the topic of him carrying me.
Go off the topic of wrestling and go back to fantasy football. With your team. What is your win and loss record? Are you undefeated just like in test of strength, or
absolutely not?
Are you the New York Jets of the league?
I have 2 teams, and they are the complete opposite of each other. One of them I'm 6-2 and in first place, and then the other one I'm 2-6 and in last. And usually I'm winning in one. If I'm winning in one, I'm losing in the other, and I'll watch one start to come back and the other one start to blow it. And I can never be happy and win both at the same time. But until 2 weeks ago, I was 0-6 in the one league, so I've won 2 in a row. So I'm making a comeback. I'm not the Jets. I'm like something else. I'm better than Jacksonville. I'm like the Washington football team. I'm like, I still have a shot because everyone else is bad, but like I'm also bad.
So it's a matter of who's worse, not who's better, right?
Yeah, exactly. I have a shot at the wild card, but only because other teams are bad. And in my other league, I drafted Russell Wilson, and he's basically carrying my entire team. So that's that.
At least you're not the New England Patriots, so in your fantasy football team.
No, and we're not even. We used to joke that we were 2 Tom Bradys. You know, how are you going to beat 2 Tom Bradys?
Yeah. No 6 rings?
Could barely beat 1, maybe.
You could, yeah.
Now 2?
Yeah, 2 Tom Bradys. So.
Yeah.
But he's not in New England anymore,
it's
so
the
you
same
know.
thing.
It's
one company, 2 Genettis, another company, 2 Bradys, and then we switch, and that's wrestling. That's what we call wrestling.
It depends on the given day. Some days we look like 2 Genettis, and some days we look like 2 Tom Bradys.
Any given Saturday.
So, are you guys gonna work hard to get back to? Wade, you're working hard to get into a dad bod, and then Radley, you're in the dad bod shape. Are you gonna go to like a dad shape? I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. We've been saying it for years.
Yeah.
You get to a dad bod, all right? You can say we got dad bod.
Anyone can have a dad bod.
Yeah. But we want to have father figures, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I got to have arms that can carry those kids, that can carry all the groceries out. I'm only taking 1 trip from the car. I'm getting all the groceries and bringing them in.
8 bags. I'll balance them on my head like I'm coming back with water from a river in some country in Africa. All the bags are going in 1 trip.
Yeah. You got to have some power for that, you know?
Yeah. Especially if you go to like a place like Aldi where you got to bring your own bags. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of bags to carry.
Yeah. You got to have that cardio. I mean, the kid ain't going to walk the dog, so you got to walk the dog every single day. Kid won't walk the kid's dog. You won't walk the dog. You know, you got to have the cardio. You got to have leg strength.
And I only go to Trader Joe's once a month. Mm-hmm. So I got to stock up when I'm there, and that's a big trip. That's why I got the SUV.
That's right.
This is fun.
That's what we do. We bring the fun, my friend.
This interview is McDonald's.
I'm loving it.
I'm loving it.
Okay.
joke.
uh,
Shout out Pete Holmes. He's a great stand-up comedian.
So, what did you guys think of this a 2-person question? Because I'm gonna name 2 people, and then you're gonna answer.
that was because we
What
were.
are your
Like the 2 of us.
Yeah.
what are your actually no, we're gonna switch it to 4 people, okay?
Okay.
So
right.
I'm gonna name people and you're gonna give me your thoughts on them, all right?
Okay.
All right.
The first person, what are your thoughts on Jordan Rowe, who made an appearance in that interview, was trying to ask a question, and then you guys left?
He's a millennial who can't hold on to a job.
Clearly.
What are your thoughts on Don Kincaid?
He is an actual crazy person. Like, I thought he just played one on TV,
Nah.
but that man is he's insane.
Super passionate.
He's like human fun dip. You just it's just off the rails right from the beginning. But I love him. That's a compliment.
Yeah, I love a sports car because it goes from 0 to 50 immediately. That's what I like. So
yeah,
works out.
He's like the movie Speed, in that if he stops going over 55 miles an hour, he'll die.
We love him though. He's great.
But I love him. Oh, he's entertaining. He is a lot.
I feel like he's kind of like
in the best way.
He's kind of like the Stan Lee of wrestling podcasts right now, where he's just so excited. Let me tell you about the Mike Skyropes I invented. Oh, it's amazing.
Yes.
He's got amazing powers.
Yes.
Oh, have you seen the Dandaman? He's amazing, spectacular.
Yeah. And he's got one joke that he loves about King COVID.
Gotta do the King COVID.
King COVID.
Shout out to King COVID.
Yeah.
I think.
What are your thoughts? So Wade, this is for you. What are your thoughts on Radley Belmont?
Well, can I answer this?
Okay, Radley, what are your thoughts on yourself?
Yeah, I like that better.
That guy sucks.
Yeah.
He has to be carried all the time.
Yeah.
He's not the brains or brawn of the team.
He only gets beat up.
I only get beat up. I think I pinned a guy once.
I don't know. Behind the scenes, Rad is the guy who takes my ridiculous ideas and helps make them make sense. Because I have a lot of ideas, and he's an encyclopedia on wrestling, so he knows how to take my crazy ideas that maybe aren't wrestling related and work them into something that makes sense in wrestling. That would be that's the most important part that Rad brings to the team, in my opinion.
Yeah. And I tag him a lot.
Yeah. And he tags me so I can come in and win the match.
Yeah, and then he can win the match.
So Wade, you can answer this question then. Whoever wants to go first. What are you guys' thoughts on Wade Kruger? Right? I almost messed it up.
Wade Kruger sucks. That guy's awful. He's worse than me. Wade Kruger.
Wade Kruger. Remember that?
Yeah.
On Facebook for 6 months, for some reason, on our Stepdads page, it said Wade Kruger, and I had to go back and fix 6 months of pictures and media that said Kruger.
I don't know. Myself, I am very limited in what I can do.
What?
I mean, I think I'm good for a big guy. I think I move pretty well for a big guy, but I have 6 or 7 things I do, and I just rotate them in and out of the rotation, and at the right time. That would be my opinion on me.
No. I think without Wade there isn't a Stepdads. He is the stepdad persona, because I've had tons of wacky ideas. I've had different personas over the years, but he's able to take the embodiment of the stepdad, even more than me, and really show it to people, and they understand what it is. Plus, I help make his ideas better, but I have wacky ass ideas that he brings back down to earth as well, and that helps a lot. And his experiences are completely different from mine. I have a very old school mentality. He has a very indie-rific mentality, and having that mashup and being able to use either side for whatever match we have. I don't know. If I had another old school guy, if I had another guy like me, we wouldn't have that style.
I think I will say the one thing I do think that I bring that's important is when you're comedy tag team, you have to know wrestling, but to make something new, you have to also know comedy and how comedy is structured and how comedy works. Because or else you're just throwing ideas out there, and there's nothing worse than when a comedy match falls flat. Because you got to commit to it, and if it falls flat, it's like you're playing you're just playing to nobody.
Mm-hmm.
So I've watched so much stand-up and so much comedy that I know how to do things like the timing of things, where like the rule of threes, where like the third time is the funny part. It's also in wrestling, but like it's a big thing in comedy, where it's like you gotta build it right to get the payoff. And that's, I think, the one thing that I do think I'm good at is like building the setup and then the payoff to where when the payoff happens, you laugh at it, as opposed to like it just being they're silly and wacky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he's got the humor down. He's got the comedy, the outer shell, if you will, and I deal with the little mechanics in between.
Yeah, I would say that's pretty fair.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, I don't. It's funny, like so many of my ideas is like my ideas don't come from wrestling. They come from comedy and sitcoms and stuff like that. Like I barely watch wrestling now. I watch older stuff for ideas and how to twist them, but I don't watch like WWE at all.
Yeah.
In years, I watch the Royal Rumble. That's it. Maybe WrestleMania. But I'll occasionally watch, but I do watch guys like Orange Cassidy because he's great, and I watch some AEW. But I mostly am watching like indie stuff or other guys that I like, or Chikara from like the 2000s.
Yeah.
Weird stuff.
I watch everything under the sun. I watch the NWA. I watch the UWN. I watch MLW. I watch everything. So I keep up with the day-to-day in wrestling. I know what's going on. So if we happen to do something that kind of looks like somebody else from like Portland or something, I'll probably know.
Yeah, but like, my ideas come from like I'll be watching like Solar Opposites and come up with an idea, or Community, or What We Do in the Shadows, or whatever show I'm watching at the time, where I'll be like, that was funny. How can I make it wrestling?
So, Bradley, you do the newspaper move.
I read newspaper. That's usually what you do with it. Yeah.
And Wade, you do the nose thing. You did it to Ryan Frost at the last show. What else? What other comedy stuff like that do you do in your wrestling matches?
Well, we have the newspaper has evolved over time, because the newspaper used to just be the newspaper, and then it evolved into him being oblivious and me spinning him around and all that. So that's been an ever evolving thing.
A lot of our moments in wrestling matches have been evolved, because we would just do little snippets of things here and there, and it's grown so much. Even your I Got Your Nose has grown to the fact that we threw it into the audience. We threw it to fans and stuff, you know? Like it's gone bigger.
And even little things that like might not have been noticed. Like I'll put a guy in a corner, and I used to just do European uppercuts or chops, and now I'll do the, hey, you got something on your shirt or on your chest, and then when he looks down, I'll hit him with the uppercut when he looks down instead of doing like the flick. Like little stuff like that. It's a lot of little things that I think just make it different than wrestling.
We don't want to just do the same moves everyone else does, you know?
Like we had a match recently where he was reading the paper, and the guy clotheslined him off the guy's back as he was reading the paper, and I jumped in the ring to save the paper and left him. And
that's good ring material.
For the next like 2 minutes, I'm on the apron trying to put the paper back together while he's getting destroyed. It's just like those little touches that like add so much.
Absolutely.
We've done like the headlock thing, the Master of the Headlock.
Master of the Headlock was I think the very first thing I ever did in a Stepdads match.
Yeah.
And it evolved to where there were times I would go off the second rope and stuff, and then like. And it's evolved into me doing what you saw at Test of Strength, but it's constantly changing.
Yeah, all the different variations of the spanks.
Mm-hmm. We have tons.
Yeah, drop toe hold onto the knee, spank, machine gun, like Japanese style spanks in the corner. You also have the drop down spot that you haven't done in a while, where they'll keep jumping over each other to try to drop down to make the other guy run and jump over them, like the dodge. But they'll just keep going until one of the guys flies out of the ring. The little stuff, like anything, it all depends on the style of the match.
Yeah, we've even stopped time once.
Yeah, we stopped time. We put the other team in timeout.
Yeah, we had to go timeout.
And they stopped. Everyone except the girl, because girls don't listen to their dads. kept fighting, but the two guys stopped, and then the two guys were about to chokeslam our tag partner, who was a girl, Emily, and our stepdaughter.
Our stepdaughter Emily.
And they were at the chokeslammer, so we did the timeout, and they stopped. And the girl on the other team, Delilah Hayden, she came in, and we took our stepdaughter out of the chokeslam, and she ran at us, and we dodged her, and she ran into the chokeslam, and we timed back in, and they chokeslammed their own partner. You got to have the right crowd for that's very silly.
That was under Chikara rules.
Yeah, we were wrestling Steve the Turtle.
Yeah.
So we figured we'd get silly. Steve the Turtle and Dick Lane.
Absolutely.
So we figured we'd get very silly with that.
It doesn't get crazier than insane Dick Lane, let me tell you.
But there's always different ideas. There's always stuff that we're trying and seeing what works and seeing what doesn't. He'll put a guy on his knee and ask him what they want for Christmas and throw them into me, and I'll hit them with a move. We're always trying out new stuff and seeing what works.
Absolutely. Even our finishing Father's Day device is just a Doomsday device, but I give you a hug on the way down, like a true father should.
Yeah.
Everything's got a little tweak to it.
Or like, I'll pick a guy up for a scoop slam, but instead of slamming him right down, I'll use my dad bod to hit him in the face a couple times while he's up there. It's the little touches. It's more the little touches that make it your own. Make it dad style.
Exactly. And we never have to worry about doing something someone else is going to do on the card. So
yeah.
Our matches are always unique.
Yeah, I'm never in the back like, hey, is anyone else spanking anyone today?
Hey, Bobby Ocean, you taking somebody's nose tonight? Yeah. Okay, all right, we won't do that then.
Yeah, exactly. I think the funniest one we did, the funniest variation of the spank we ever did, was we wrestled Sunny Kiss, and each time we spanked him, we hurt our own hands. Because the man has buns of steel.
Absolutely, rock hard. So it actually hurt us, and we had to stop spanking Sunny.
Yes,
because that offense was crazy.
So one of the sayings that the crowd uses when you guys come out is it's past 8:30, Stepdads. Where did that come into play in your guys' tag team career?
So my singles finishing move is the Stepdad Stunner, aka the Whippersnapper, which is the actual name for the move that Mikey Whipwreck used. So because of that, I started doing a little extra Steve Austin stuff. I'd throw up a little hand sign language, but you can't really see it, Just
censoring the own middle finger.
So of course you think Austin 316. So and naturally I went to Radley 8:16 p.m. says it's past your bedtime, and then I stunner him and I go, oh heck yeah. And
yeah, it just comes from, like I said, that's just making something your own. It's taking something that a lot of people do, like a stunner, and making it a dad move.
And like I said, in these catchphrases, we just throw them out all the time. We forget about them, and somebody else will bring them back up, and it's like, well, I'm saying that in the ring tonight.
Yeah, like I do the one of my I don't know if I've done it at Test of Strength yet, but one of my signature moves is You're Grounded, which is the Sister Abigail, but I dip the guy down instead of kissing him on the forehead, which I guess I could give them a good night kiss on the forehead, but I just yell "You're grounded" and then face plant them, and that's it makes it a dad move.
Exactly. Now they're in bed.
So I want to ask this question: who's the older stepdad in the group?
Legally or in case?
I don't know.
You're older by I think a few months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
just barely.
You're what, April
26th,
and I'm December of the year before. So I'm December 26th. So yeah, 4 months. He's older by 4 months. That's why
they called me the old man of the group.
Yeah. I can't even say I have gray hair in my beard now, so I can't even.
I've had gray hair in my beard since I was like 25.
Yeah, he's old.
Too much stress.
I know how you feel. I mean, my mom knows how you feel. You should see her head.
It's a parent, so I understand. Yeah, exactly.
And we know how your mom feels.
Yeah.
Literally.
Not that way. Not that way. I knew he was going to do that. I thought about it first. I shouldn't have waited.
Sorry for groping your mom.
Listen, if you do stepdad, we're here for you. That's all I'm saying, all right? You should see us when we're bad guys.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah. Yeah, I may have said some really awful things to fans. The one time we were on a show without a where we could curse.
Yeah.
I was very mean.
A not so family friendly show. You got some pretty mean stepdads that night.
Yeah, I'm very quick witted, but it when we're good guys, it just comes out in me doing something silly. When we're bad guys, it usually involves me saying something very funny but very mean.
So it's kind of like at family shows it's PG, want to be nice, you don't want and then when it's a non-PG show, rated R kind of stuff, you're just a mean stepdad that no one wants as a stepdad.
Yeah, I mean, if we're the heels, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We try to be like the stepdad you hate. Like we beat you and you hate us. That's us.
Just like real stepdads, sometimes you love them, sometimes you don't, but they're your stepdads, so you better respect them.
Yeah, exactly.
And if we happen to be heels at a family friendly show, we'll just heel on the children.
Yes.
Not the parents, just the children. Let me tell you, no little girl will hate you more than if you walk up to their dad and shake his hand and go, "You need to listen to this guy. This guy's a genius."
Yeah.
She will hate you for the rest of her life.
Yeah, nothing got a bigger bad guy reaction on a PG show. We wrestled at a fair. It was a county fair, and it was the last day. And two things I said to the kids that they both hated: shouldn't you be home doing your summer reading? First of all, they were not a fan. Secondly, I told them that they were the reason that the fair was leaving the next day, and they did not like that.
That's messed up, especially the summer reading part.
Shouldn't you be home doing your summer reading?
Wow. Well, the nasty stepdads got beat that day, so the good guys won.
Yeah. Nasty stepdads don't come out too often.
That's true.
Nasty
stepdads don't win very much.
No, I don't think
good guy stepdads are undefeated for a long time.
I will say, nothing is better than when we come out at a place, either good or bad, and
like a debut,
and you just hear like when you hear someone in the crowd say something. Usually, we hear over people talking if we're close enough. You know, if there's not 6 feet distance. My favorite reaction is, "Who the fuck are these guys?" Like if it's a debut.
When we debut, there's always we come out and then there's a pause, and then like some people cheer and you'll just hear what.
I had a guy go up to us one time after a show, and he was the only guy who didn't high five us when we came out or shake my hand.
Yeah, we always shake hands with the fans when there's no quarantine.
He was sitting there like, and he wouldn't shake my hand, and I shook his elbow, and I shook his wife's hand and stared at him when I did it. But after the show, he came up and he shook my hand. And he's like, "You guys had a great match." But when you came out, my first thought was, "Who are these fucking clowns?" He's like, "And you won me over." And I was like, I would probably have the same reaction if I watched us come out for the first time, so I get it.
That was the whole idea. When we became the stepdads, our entire goal was, we're probably going to lose in like 30 seconds. Like the Road Warriors are going to come out and kill us.
Yeah.
For who knows how long our career is. We need to do the most ridiculous thing before we even get to the ring. And having like a bathrobe and sweaters and giant golf clubs. We haven't brought the giant golf clubs to test strength yet. Those are going to come someday. We have welcome mats. We
have a potted plant we've hung in the corner before.
Yeah, we had chimes for
wind chimes.
Our wind chimes next to our tag rope. Like all this ridiculous stuff. So you don't remember the match. We die in 30 seconds when the Road Warriors kill us, but you remember there were some dad guys here tonight, and that was interesting.
Yeah, leave an impression.
Yeah, leave an impression before your funeral.
Even if that impression is, "Who are these fucking clowns?"
Exactly.
So I'm pretty much out of questions. I like to flip the script on these interviews before I end them. Is there anything that you guys have to that you would like to ask me?
Do you have?
That's a great question. Thanks for
asking. Do I have anything? That's a great question. Let me ask you: do you ever watch any old school wrestling? Do you have a favorite old school wrestler? NWA, WCW, anything like that? Or is it all current? Are you just a current fan?
I'm a current fan.
Okay.
I get a lot of one of my friends is a big wrestling fan, and his dream is he wants to go to California and train at the Japan dojo out there.
Oh yeah,
He's that old school.
We know a guy who trains there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's always like, "Oh, we should watch this match," and I'm like, old school wrestling just doesn't it doesn't drag me in to watch it. I like that new school current wrestling.
You gotta even people group all old school wrestling together, and there's still there's stuff that there's different styles even then. You watch some older Japanese stuff where the Road Warriors are just killing people and that stuff is super entertaining to me. But yeah, I'm not into the AWA older NWA stuff that he is. I it's not my style. I'm more of the gimmicky Chikara stuff and not Lucha Libre. I hate Lucha Libre. I think I watch it and I even
There's no rhyme or reason.
Yeah, it's so random. But Japanese stuff is great. Yeah, it's all about finding that stuff that you like. There's so much. Wrestling is it's like you're going to Baskin Robbins. There's so many flavors. There's so many flavors of ice cream.
Oh.
That everyone should. I feel like everyone is a wrestling fan. They just don't know it yet.
Exactly.
They just have to find that thing that captures them. It could be Orange Cassidy. It could be Will Ospreay. There's so many different things, and I think.
And you might not eat ice cream every week either.
Yeah, it's like saying there. Someone saying they don't like wrestling is that you don't like mainstream wrestling. It's like saying, "Oh, I hate music" because you don't like what's on the radio. But there's so much music that's not on the radio that is good.
Oh, I don't like TV. Okay, you've never watched the television before?
Yeah.
You don't watch any television at all. There's different types of TV, my friend.
I was gonna ask, so who would be your current Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? Your top 4.
Top 4.
John
Cena.
Okay, I do the workhorse. He is.
Does that count as current?
Yeah, he's current enough.
Yeah. He's a free agent, but he's comes back and does that. He's there, and then he leaves again.
I love Cena. I think people underrate him massively. A lot of people who don't like him just don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, I never hated Cena.
Too many people form an opinion in the first few years and don't care. They never let it get changed, and he became so good.
So you said current. So does Independence count too?
Yeah, that's fine.
Absolutely.
Okay. So John Cena, Ethan Page, Ollie go.
Oh, Ollie, yes.
So
get this.
We have. He doesn't know it, but we have heat with Ethan.
No.
I'm wearing his shirt, so.
First of all, just for reference, in Ethan Page's, I think his bedroom is a picture of him. Just not us, just of him.
So yeah, I met Ethan Page at when I was a fan, a Chikara show,
Young Lions Cup.
Yeah, when he was Young Lions Cup, forever ago, 2010, over 10 years ago, and it's a picture of me, Player Uno, Ethan Page, and Worker Ant at a Chikara show, and we were on a show with him, and I brought up that I was like, "Oh, dude, I've been watching you for years. I have a picture with you from forever ago," and he was like, "Holy shit, I have that picture printed and on my wall." So I think that's the funniest thing.
We're gonna have to ask him about that. I'm supposed to interview him later, earlier next year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll ask him about that. You have a picture of one half of the Stepdads on your wall?
He's gonna be like, I don't know who they are. We were on a true wrestling show with him once. It was a couple, maybe about a year ago.
Yeah, he wrestled Clay Drasher in the main event.
Yeah, he was in the main. It was a show. Tony Deppen was on it.
Mm-hmm.
But we all went out to eat afterwards. He's a nice guy.
Or semi maybe.
Even though I think he gave our gimmick away. So
all we know right now, before he goes into it, all we know right now is that we met Ethan Page in, I believe, October of last year.
And then a month later,
one
of his, is he a trainee of him?
I don't know, but someone who has ties with him became Dan the Dad.
Dan the Dad.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
And he cites Ethan Page for giving him the gimmick.
Yeah, so he said Ethan Page gave him the gimmick, and Ethan Page met us a month earlier.
Do you know any other wrestling stepdads?
No.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, Ethan, we're coming for you.
You know, the funny thing is, I asked him about that on his interview. I was like, "So what came up with where do you come up with the names of like gimmicks for people? Like, for example, Dan the Dad." And he was just like, "I don't know. I just find it funny." But his explanation for it was, well, he dresses like a dad. He has like the dad sandals, hat.
Yeah,
there you go.
His shirt's tucked in all the time and all that.
We
he just looked like a dad.
Yeah.
The dad thing is not that. It's not that creative. It's a dad, like, people. It was so funny to, like, the timing of it was so funny.
It's
but
so
like,
random.
I totally believe it just happened.
Because the same thing happened to us. We look like dads already.
Exactly. So. It is what it is.
It's great when you find a gimmick like that just. It's not even a gimmick. It just fits you. It'd be a way your friends would joke about you. You know.
Yeah. It's like you have a dad sense of humor. You tell dad jokes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. Like, a lot of the stuff we wore, like, the stuff that we wear for entrances is, like, it's stuff from my closet. Like, I didn't go out of the way to buy it. I already had it.
Like, I wear New Balance shoes, and I'll go to a show, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're living the gimmick, brother. That's great." No, I just own New Balance shoes I have for years now.
Yeah, Ethan Page is great. Like, he has,
Yes.
And he keeps getting better over time. You used to love him as one half of, he was in that tag team.
Oh, yeah,
right?
he and ACH in Evolve were a great tag team.
Yeah.
If you ever get to look up their stuff from old
What were they
Evolve
called?
shows, I can't remember. But their theme song was just them, like, talking. They were doing like a no, that wasn't it.
I know.
They were doing like a cops like parody song, but it was just them and they're like laughing in it and stuff. And that's their theme song. It was amazing.
Yeah.
The gimmick was just that they didn't care, and it was fantastic.
But enough about Ethan Page. So we got two of the four.
So, let's see.
So which stepdad do you want to name first, and then the other one?
We'll share a space.
Oh, okay, we'll get you. No, go ahead.
Be on like the tag team Mount Rushmore times like 4. Like, so there's 16 columns on that Mount Rushmore.
I always say if like the Young Bucks are on the top of the wrestling ladder, we're in the subway below the building the ladder's in. Okay, and we're okay with that for now.
Let's see. I'm trying to think who are the other 2 on my list. There's so many great wrestlers. That's why. Like,
yeah, I mean, just go off the top of your head.
Just throw some out there. We'll talk about them.
We're not gonna like hold you. I'm not gonna come up to you 5 years ago and be like, "You said it was this guy."
5 years ago? Oh,
5 years from now.
I didn't mention I have Doctor Strange powers. I just travel into the time and space all the time.
So that is the phone booth outside my house in the driveway.
Yes.
Let's see. John Cena, Ethan Page. Who's someone else that I like? I'm trying to think who has a pretty sick home gym that I follow. Tom Lawler. I don't know how to say his name.
Filthy Tom Lawler.
Filthy Tom's great. I used to watch him in UFC, man.
Oh, he's awesome. So much.
And then,
yeah.
And then Chris Dickinson, the Dirty Daddy.
My boy.
I like how
he's in the Dad Hall of Fame with us. Dickinson is one of my favorite people. I go way back with Dickinson because he's from Staten Island originally.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's back there now, but he's from Staten Island, and we go back to MySpace, man. That's my dude. Because he used to wrestle in Jersey All Pro before I was even a wrestler, and I would travel with him to shows to do photography, and he is good. He has gotten so good, and he's so dedicated. He's the man.
He's currently wrestling for UWN. I don't know if you ever watch him. They have weekly pay-per-views in California, and he's wrestling their World Title Tournament. I really hope this is like a huge spotlight for him because
he 100% deserves it.
There's no reason he shouldn't be in such a huge promotion, you know.
Way ahead of the curve too. He was doing the intergender stuff before anyone was. Like he was like, I'll take on any woman and show how tough they are, and he was all about that. And he got so much heat for it at the time, like the stuff with was it Kimberly?
Yeah.
The heat for that, and it was so unwarranted. And now it's a commonplace thing. Like he really took the reins on that and kind of helped. I honestly believe like that helped equality in wrestling more, and not to put it all on his shoulders, but like that he did. That's huge. It was huge for making intergender just an accepted thing. Whereas before it was like that was a special attraction, and now companies like Beyond and GCW are doing intergender matches, and they're just calling it a singles match, and I think that's really cool.
Yep. They're not just men and women; they're competitors.
Yeah,
and that's awesome on the indie scene.
Yeah, I think definitely those are my 4 on my Mount Rushmore. John Cena, because he was like the first wrestler I ever saw. Like, on TV, he was the first action figure I ever had. Even though I got it from a kid from my kindergarten class, and his face was all painted.
I mean, you can't ask for much better of a role model or like a wrestler to be the head of a company than Cena.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ethan Page. He's Ethan Page. Like, that's what you get. He's awesome. And then, who was the third guy I said? Lawler. He's just cool in general. I think he's cocky and charismatic, and then the way he fights is awesome.
It feels so real too. Like, it doesn't feel like a gimmick. It just feels like him, and I appreciate that. Like, and he always has fun. Like, he comes out to just like different themes all the time. He's kind of just having fun, but like once you're in the ring, it's serious. Like he's gonna It's not a bad Mount Rushmore. It's a couple badass. You got some badasses on there. You got a good mix of like gimmick and badass. And
now here's the thing. You know about John Cena, but are you familiar with John Cena Sr.?
Yeah, we're friends with.
I met him.
Yeah, he gave us our first ever tag title shot.
That's right. He was the general manager of House of Bricks Wrestling, and he was like, "They're getting the first title shot."
We always joke because it's such a common thing in wrestling. It's like, oh, you guys are wrestlers? Do you know John Cena? And we're like, Ed.
Does that count? Should.
Yeah, John Cena follows me on Twitter, and then the closest to meeting John Cena was his dad. So it was like it was right after one of those live shows, like the non-filmed.
Yeah,
like they come to your town or your city. So, yeah, it was pretty cool to meet him. I felt bad looking back on it because it's like right after a show, he's an old man. He's the dad, so it's like you don't want to bother him because old people are grouchy and they have a really bad attitude to everyone. So, but he was very nice. So.
What I can say is the best way to approach that is always just be considerate. It's like that's like so many people are like, oh, that guy was an asshole, and I'm like, maybe you met him on a bad day or whatever. Like you can't judge it off one experience. But, like, as long as you're respectful, like, we never mind anyone coming up to us as long as, like unless I'm, like, eating. Like, if I was, like, had, like, food in my mouth and someone, like, came up.
Can I get a selfie with you guys? Just, you can keep eating your food.
Exactly. Like, that would bother. But, like, other than that, it's, like, I think as long as you just ask, it's, like, permission. That's the whole thing. It's, like, as long as you ask, if they say yes, then you're good. But, like, I would always just, like, anytime I've ever met anyone who, like, I'm always just, like, hey, would you mind if I could get a photo or like, is that okay? Because I've done that once or twice, like when we shared a locker room, like with the Hurricane with Shane Helms. I'm a huge mark for the Hurricane. So like,
and he was a really cool guy.
And he was really cool about it.
You know, yeah.
But like, if he would have said no, I'm busy, I would have been like, cool, that's fine, I understand. Like, do your thing, you get signed up for a match. That's the whole thing. The people who go to like the airport and stuff, that's like that's like borderline stalking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to like the hospital that they're going to meet with kids, which happens sometimes, and I don't know how they even figure that out.
Or like you're following them to the hotel after a show when they get in their car because you want to meet them in the lobby. Like that's too much. So like I think if you just run into them or it's after a show, like I think after a show is fair because like they're still at their job, so to speak, even though they're off the clock.
Yeah,
they're
still in that mode too. They just had a match. They're probably full of adrenaline. They'll probably talk to you for a minute, you know. Once they get in their car, don't be taking selfies through the window or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's creepy, and it's you're not the paparazzi, you're just the fan. So
Exactly. And
Or like you see the post on Instagram and you're like, I know where that is. I'm going there. Like, calm down. Especially with like the stuff you have to worry about, like the female wrestlers. Especially like you had these like stalkers and stuff. That's crazy. Like,
yeah. Remember the experience you're making for both yourself and the person.
And
obvious.
remember how you come off. It's like if you're going up to AJ Styles and he's like out with his family, and you're like, "Let me see my tattoo of your tattoo with your kids' birthdays on it."
Oh yeah, I saw that picture the other day.
Yeah, please don't put me in your trunk. Thank you.
I'm your dad now. I'm the phenomenal one.
Yeah, I saw that and I'm like, that's like. I get if you want to get like a like if you want to get Randy Orton's tattoo or whatever because your name
fan. Was also
like the RKO.
Yeah,
yeah.
Putting his kids that's.
Did you guys see the I think John Cena was in like the UK a couple years ago, and a fan of his was just filming him. Like he didn't ask permission, but he was like John Cena was shopping in a store, and it's like he's very like. John Cena loves the cultures of other countries, is what I found out about him.
Yeah.
And he was paying for his stuff, and the guy's like this with his phone, just recording him. And then John Cena walks towards him, and he's like, "Can I get a picture with you?" and stuff like that. And John was not happy because he was like, "You're invading my privacy. You didn't ask permission."
Yeah.
And the guy ended up getting like famous from it because it's John Cena. Everyone's gonna see that video. And he ends up, instead of apologizing, he's like, I want a match with him at WrestleMania, and if I win, I get to keep the video up or something. And that was just stupid.
Unfortunately, wrestling is one of the rare things left where there's a blur for people between the real and the fake of it. Where like nobody is like, oh, you like Marvel movies? You know it's fake, right? Like that only happens with wrestling.
Yeah.
And so there's like there is that realism, which is good. But like, it's not the 70s anymore. Like, there's levels to it.
Yeah, no one walks by Robert Downey Jr. and is like, "Oh, it's Iron Man." Freak out. No,
unless they're like a kid.
Yeah.
Or like, it's funny when like people will say someone's name like they played in a movie, but no one knows who that name is. Like, if someone says Iron Man to Robert Downey Jr., they might say. What other movies has he been in that's pretty famous? Like they might call him by something else.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like but I do also appreciate the few wrestlers who are like their character. Like I love that MJF is MJF all the time. In response to
look at that reaction.
I appreciate that because I'm sure he's not like that with like his. I'm sure he's not like that to that extent. I don't know what his personality is in real life. I don't know, but.
Like, there's many different rumors about him, about how he is backstage from where he is out in the crowd.
For the most stuff, I only see stuff usually of him with fans, and I appreciate that he's always MJF with fans. I think there's something fun about that, and it's unique.
You're talking about like at signings and things.
Still. Well, or guys, even guys like Danhausen or Warhorse, indie guys that are like they're always in character on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like that because my character doesn't translate to that in Twitter. Like, and I like to be able to be on Twitter and talk to people as a normal person. And that's why I have a regular Twitter and then we have the Stepdads Twitter. Keep it separate. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times we are just kind of, we have the same ideas and stuff when we talk anyway.
Yeah.
So
like
people, it's not like we're zombies this week and now we're normal people, at home. But
I do like that there is some blurring.
Yes.
A little bit. It's just like, it used to be insane where like guys would come out and fans would try to like attack them because they're bad guys, or like we can't ride in the same car from the airport because you're a good guy and I'm a bad guy.
I can't imagine how the Undertaker did that for 30 years.
Yeah,
it's never really talking to my fans. Like
it's gotta be lonely.
I'm sure that was really bothersome to not like. Oh, I can't go to this hospital and talk to the kids because I look like a zombie. Yeah, it makes sense, but that kind of sucks,
Well, if he'd ever retire, he could be a normal person like Kane and be a mayor or something.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know what it is with wrestlers, and once they retire, they get into politics.
Yeah. I don't
The
know.
Rock 2024, Dwayne Johnson. The
I'm here
Rock.
for it.
There we go. There we go.
I'm here for
Finally.
it.
So since I know we were supposed to end this like 15 minutes ago, but because you asked me that
All
question,
interviews that go like twice as long as they're expected every time. So
so what are your guys' Mount Rushmores of wrestling?
Oh.
And you don't have to do what I did when the explanation from it. You just say them.
you want to do two and I'll do two, or you want to do something like that?
Yeah, we'll do two each.
All right.
It's a combined Mount Rushmore.
There we go. You want me to do it or you?
You go first.
I'll go first because my Mount Rushmore is gonna have Ric Flair on it. Just like you said, John Cena was the first wrestler you ever saw. The first wrestling match I ever saw was Sting versus Ric Flair, Clash of Champions 1, 1988. My parents had a VHS tape of it. Flair and Sting wrestled for 45 minutes, and I'm like a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old, so like 45 minutes is eternity for me. It's like crazy. So watching that match, fell in love with Ric Flair's style of wrestling and everything, how he was able to elevate baby faces, transcend race, color, creed, didn't matter. People love Ric Flair. Ric Flair isn't just a character; he's in like an ideal of like what certain guys want to be like.
Yeah.
With ladies' man, rich guy, successful athlete. Some of them might come off as sexist now.
Yeah.
But at the time, that was what brought in the money, and Jim Crockett Promotions made a lot of money off of Ric Flair.
And he was that heel that like didn't have to cheat to beat you. Like he could out wrestle you.
The idea that he didn't cheat, wrestled you for 60 minutes, and then went to a draw and just left is almost more infuriating than if he hit you with brass knuckles, because he didn't admit that he couldn't beat you. You know?
I'll go with my first one is Bret Hart. I love the Hitman. Growing up, I loved the whole like turning his back on America stuff, and like the whole thing was great. Like he was cocky, but like still a good guy, which I appreciated. Like he called himself the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. But he was a good guy, and nobody was like, that's cocky. They were like, yeah, he's just good. Like, and he could wrestle anybody to any match. Like he carried the British Bulldog to an incredible match. He had personality when he needed to show it. I think he was incredible. And I think people knock him for not having charisma, and I think it's nuts. Like I think people underrate him. Even though Owen might be better, it's an argument you could go back and forth on. I think he's like unreal. And I think he got screwed, and it sucks his career ended the way it did.
For my second, my half. Oh boy, shit. I'm gonna go with a tag team.
I was gonna do that too. Damn it.
No, that's fine. We have singles and we have a tag team. Which one are you gonna pick? 'Cause then I'll pick the other.
I'm not gonna pick either one you're thinking of, probably.
Right. I'll go with. I can't think of. I have two here.
Were you thinking of Road Warriors?
Road Warriors or Rock and Roll?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Arn and
Toll. Yeah, but I feel like I'll go with Road Warriors, I guess, because Road Warriors transcended. Like people think, like you watch WWE all the time, you see tag teams aren't always presented as main eventers. They're not the top guys, not all the time. The tag team titles aren't presented as world championships equal to the heavyweight title kind of thing.
Yeah, like the tag titles are never the main event of WrestleMania.
Exactly. And it's unfortunate because I feel like teams like the New Day could easily have defended the Raw tag team titles in the main event of WrestleMania
against like the Usos.
The Usos, and it probably would have worked.
Yeah.
But regardless, the friggin' Road Warriors,
you said Rock and Roll. I know.
I know the Road Warrior because Rock and Roll was great in a technical standpoint, but they never elevated to Road Warriors being able to main event in multiple different promotions. In Japan, they main evented. In the NWA, they main evented. The AWA, they main evented.
They were also one of the few teams that you never were like, oh, when are they going to break them up so one of them could be the star?
Yes.
They were like a tag team through and through, and they looked like they could murder anyone at any time. Like it looked like they could take on anyone. They were just like next level.
They were a package. You never thought, oh, this one's the best or the better one. This one's kind of or whatever. Like they fluctuated, if anything.
But they were best as a team.
But they were best as a team, and that's like with us. I'm not looking to be a singles guy anytime soon. I don't think he is either. If we had a singles title, I had a title shot for New York Championship Wrestling early this year. Main event singles match. It was great. It was an awesome opportunity. I got to wrestle Johnny Moran. Fantastic stuff. Really happy I got to wrestle him. But obviously I didn't win the title, and that's fine with me because I would much rather continue this run as a tag team.
Yep. And
that's what we want. We want to have something similar to Rock and Roll Express, where people know us as a package deal, going to every tag team or every promotion as a tag team. We want to win all the tag team belts, my friend. And we want to take on all teams, and we'll take on singles guys as tag teams. We'll do it all.
I'm going to jump in only because I got to wrap it up.
Yep.
Get ready to go. My last one is weird because you said what I love about them is they're a tag team through and through. My tag team is actually two guys who are better known in singles, but I loved their tag runs so much that I always think of them a tag team, and that's Edge and Christian.
Okay, well, let's start as a team.
I mean, I love both of them individually. Yeah. I think individually they're both fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think Christian's super underrated. I think Edge is unreal, and I'm so happy he was back. And now he's hurt, but he'll hopefully be back again. As a tag team, they were just so fun, and they were able to show that their character side, which I think set up their singles runs to be successful. They were so funny, they were so creative, and they had crazy matches with the Hardys and the Dudleys at the time. That was such a good time for tag wrestling. And everyone talks about the Hardys and everyone talks about the Dudleys, and I feel like Edge and Christian don't get enough credit.
Yeah.
They were so good, and they were like really the best technical guys out of all of them, and probably the most important for the success of that era.
Absolutely. And everyone talks about how the Hardys were innovators and everything, and they absolutely were, but Edge and Christian were just as much as innovative. Everyone remembers the spear off the ladder.
For Hardy, but not for Edge.
Yeah, not for Edge, like almost knocking himself out doing that spear. Like, and that was one of many spots because they did tables matches, they did ladder matches. WrestleMania 2000, they had the crazy ladder match. Like,
I absolutely love them as a team. I don't think they get nearly enough credit they deserve.
Yep.
Super talented and super fun to watch. That would be our combined Mount Rushmore, I guess.
Is there anything that you guys would like to promote?
Yeah, let's throw up the social media. So, this is nice and easy. Instagram, Twitter. Oh boy, let's just go with that. Instagram and Twitter has. Oh my gosh, I'm messing up because it's different. Instagram at Stepdads Wrestling. YouTube at Stepdads Wrestling. Facebook, ready? At Stepdads Wrestling. Twitter at Stepdads Wrestle because we couldn't fit all the letters in. But we also have a Patreon if anybody wants to check it out. Stepdads Wrestling. We have new matches.
Yeah, our Patreon, we always post either sneak peeks at stuff our new gear. We'll post old backyard clips of us having like us wrestling, like me wrestling Tony Deppen in the backyard, or like stuff from way back in the day.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah, Sunny Kiss.
Oh, yeah.
It's you get a weird stuff that we don't post online. Mm-hmm. And all our matches get posted.
Yeah. Believe it or not, we're even on TikTok at Stepdads Wrestling. So
I'll look that up.
we reached that level. We're at TikTok now, and ProWrestlingTees.com/TheStepdads.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's The Stepdads or Stepdads. You can find it on Google.
And I'm on Twitter if anyone wants to follow me and watch me. Well, lately it's been a lot of political posts, but usually it's me yelling about the Devils and Chargers. That would be at Wade Kruger 1. Mm-hmm. It's usually me posting either stream of consciousness, weird thoughts, or complaining about sports because I do that. My teams are terrible.
Yeah, and with the rest of our media, I try to post something, a picture, a promo, a match
every day,
every single day. So and it's all the same. So if you are on Instagram or Facebook, you'll see the same pictures, the same videos. You can keep up with us. So really, you just got to Google Stepdads Wrestling. All one word, though. We don't want to get creepy, okay?
Yeah, if you look it up with space in between, you get weird stuff.
But if you but if you type in Stepdads Wrestling as all one word, I guarantee you, we come up on the first page of Google, all our media comes up. Go ahead, give it a try.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Don't look it up with a space.
Don't look up with a space. I can't condone that. I can't allow that at all.
That's not us.
That's not us. That's not me. Okay?
STP step
Mm-hmm.
space.
No. Hey, come on now.
No spaces at all.
Stepdad, and then space.
No.
Wrestling.
Stepdad's
What?
wrestling. Stepdad's wrestling.
You put a space and you're going to be grounded.
Yeah.
Also, you're going to hate your own life.
No. Make sure it doesn't autocorrect.
Oh, never mind. We're not gonna talk about that. That is not the first page on Google. You did not show up. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Thank you both for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe.
Yes,
I'll
we're
see
sorry
you.
in advance. We're sorry in advance for your internet history.
Oh, your browser.
I put
down now.
Stepdad Wrestling.
Stepdad.
Stepdad Wrestling.
Dads. Don't
Oh
shoot
my god.
Fine.
We're gonna try this again. Wait, because I want to redeem myself.
The government's gonna contact you any minute now.
Oh, you know what it did? It put the space as auto.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta watch that autocorrect. It's
Yeah, you
sneaky.
can put some
Stepdad.
list if you look at that stuff.
It wants your mind in the gutter, man.
Yeah, it wants to ruin your brain.
Can't allow that.
I put the same thing.
We're gonna call it there.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you for your time today, guys. I really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, and see you in the next interview.